Hello there! How good was that event? You can be honest now, how many times have you replayed it? I've been through it 11 times now, testing out theories and downright wasting time to annoy Agent Jonesy. Today we are breaking down everything that happened over the course of that event in the hopes of finding new clues to the story, and a few Easter eggs too. If you're new around these parts, please click subscribe, it's totally free. And if you come back regularly, have a think about using my creator code. It's ADAMARU, if you'd be so kind. So sit your butt down for 10 minutes and let's find 28 things you missed in the 0 Point Crisis. The first thing many of us noticed was all thanks to subtitling. During the opening cinematic, Agent Jones spoke to two characters, the woman on the phone from last season and the hench guy in the 7. Neither character is referred to by name, but those with subtitles switched on knew straight away the woman who ordered Jonesy back into the loop is named Dr. Sloan. We still don't know what she looks like just yet, but we do know she has a doctorate in something, meaning she's educated to a high standard. Now that Jonesy has switched sides, he completely destroys his communication with Dr. Sloan, and that is the moment Agent Jonesy has officially left the Imagined Order. The second character Jonesy meets is the Foundation, which may sound like a new rap group ready to drop the album of the year, but as always, the names of the 7 all mean something. The Visitor was the first of the 7 to travel to see us in Chapter 1. The scientist took the Visitor's work and evolved it using, well, science. And the Paradigm, okay, she doesn't have much lore yet. I personally believe she is Singularity from Season 9, but that is not lore yet, and I get shouted at every time I bring it up, so I won't go there. And now we have the Foundation. The word foundation is used in two ways. First, in construction, as the bottom layer of something there to keep everything else in place. And the second meaning of foundation is an underlying principle. You know, like helping old ladies cross the road. By smashing both meanings together, we can surmise the Foundation is the leader of the 7 and is pivotal to the story as he represents the beginning of something we'll likely find out in 2 chapters from now. And right now, he's literally holding the foundations of reality together in a giant Easter egg. At the end of the scene, for a split second, the camera travels through a strand of time. By pausing the footage, we can see this. Maybe the future of Fortnite. This is likely suggesting a version of reality in which realistic graphics are used in Fortnite instead of the cartoony ones we have right now. If you need more detail, the rocks are taken from a PS5 tech demo for the new Unreal Engine Epic is implementing. Maybe one day we will see Fortnite have 2 filters, one for photorealism and one classic. I have no idea what these people are doing here, but this emote is a callback to the Praise the Sun gesture in Dark Souls to indicate a warrior of sunlight. This is getting a little too serious, let's change things up. Oh, and I know, for 90 plus days we've been all attempting to name this thing that Jonesy holds. I called it a shard of the 0 Point, other people called it a portal gun. Well, we can clear it up right now. If we keep our distance when it's time to pick it up, the object will pop up on screen, and now we know the exact name, the portal device. Simple but effective. And we also know it's officially a legendary tier item. Let's back up a little. Earlier, Jones jumps from the battle bus to catch the 0 Point shard. Sorry, I mean the portal device. Take a note of the fall damage he takes, 99. 1 more meter of fall damage and this story would have been over before it began. Let's all remember that Jonesy clutched this on 1 health. What a true legend. We've touched on Jonesy's attire in the past, but let's quickly pinpoint everything we can see here. We can now confirm his headband is his own tie. I originally thought this was Ryu's headband, but we now know Jonesy's right hand is the sparring mitt Ryu uses in Street Fighter. The tattoo on his left arm is the G.I. Joe symbol, likely given to him by Snake Eyes. By the way, Snake Eyes will fight Batman next month in Fortnite. That is not a joke. The chest plate and headset are taken from his visit to the Aliens universe and the character Vasquez. The animal silhouette is the sign of the Mandalorian race from Star Wars, and the arrows are taken from the Walking Dead crossover. There's also other influences, especially Batman for some reason, as Jones has created his own utility belt and spiked forearm gauntlet. Jonesy has been acquiring upgrades all season, and this will continue into Season 6. There's a few movie references during this scene. The T-800s approaching from distance is a callback to the Future War scene in the Terminator 2 movie, complete with purple lasers. And there's a second T2 reference as the truck smashes through the bridge wall overhead, mimicking the chase scene from the same movie. As Jonesy runs forward, Mancake attempts to decapitate him. This brings in Kratos to battle the Butter Barn legend. You may think this is a pointless shout out, but if you remember back when Kratos was revealed, he scared Mancake so much he ran away. As a callback to that first meeting, now Mancake holds his ground and fights Kratos. Another one of these can be found later in the trailer. When Master Chief appeared, Fishsticks was the first to meet him, and now they are fighting side by side. Tiny pieces of character development in only a few seconds. Impressive work, Epic Games. GG's. One thing baffles me in this trailer. If we pause at the Mancake scene, there is a huge Tomato Town pizza pit head in the sand. I mean, it's gargantuan. Likely a throwaway Easter egg, but just in case this may come up in the future, know that this was the day we saw it first. As the trailer rolls on, Lara Croft can be spotted. A little bit too early to be a Season 6 character. That would also explain why Jones wears her boots. She may have been intended to be a Season 5 hunter rather than a Season 6 crossover character. She's not joining in with the fight, she's just running in a straight line. Go Lara. Peely gets a regular call out to indicate he and Jones are indeed friends, even after he was eaten by a Jones snapshot to survive into Season 9. But we don't talk about that. Peely is back! Oh no, he isn't. For a split second in the game, a police chase could be seen. This had me confused, mainly because police vehicles were removed from Fortnite in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. This shot here shows the first cop car in Fortnite since June 2020. Jones is prevented from reaching the 0 point by many Battle Pass characters, like Meowsles and TNTina from Season 2. Can we pause for a moment to give Tina the props she deserves? She lands in the perfect superhero pose after leaping from the rocket. Perfection. Also, for a split second, the hybrid skin is shown. It's not there for very long, and the thing to keep in mind here is that these were evolved from eggs. And right now in Fortnite, there are new eggs to be discovered. Finally, Jonesy reaches the 0 point, and we see how the portal device is calibrated. By turning the orb, it appears he can choose a time and reality zone. But in this instance, he's thinking bigger, and is not teleporting himself to that zone, he's teleporting that zone here. In a repeat of the opening events of Season 4 and Season X of Chapter 1, a meteorite containing one of the 7 arrives. Luckily, we don't have to deal with a crater bigger than your mum. Instead, it's just a tiny little divot. The Foundation enters, but unlike the scientist and the visitor, the Foundation's pod is huge. He can freely walk in there, whereas the others were tightly packed in. Someone needs to review the class system in the 7. Also, a thing of note is that the same molten rock is found on all 3 meteors we've seen so far, and look at the colour of that pod. Even though the Foundation is a different colour scheme, the pod keeps the original colours set by the OG visitor almost 3 years ago. I began looking over the armour of the Foundation. It looks to be from multiple time periods. If you think of it of like how we upgraded Mando's Beskar steel last season, I think this helps understand the materials used on the Foundation's attire. And then one spot on the Foundation's chest felt reminiscent. I'd seen it before, and we'd actually seen it twice. The camera shutter door has been used at the volcano event when we opened the vault. And we'd also seen it last season too. The same effect was used to open the 0 triangulation point at the IO bunker. Each time we've seen the mark like this, it represents a changing in reality. But now I have a question. Why does the Foundation have a port near his heart? The day we find out is going to be a sad day. Next, we were hit with the law. We now know 100% that Jonesy and the Foundation know each other. There was not a single moment of hesitation from the leader of the 7, and Jones knew right away he wouldn't be trusted. This tells us they have met before, and judging by the Foundation's aggression, Jonesy won last time and locked him away. Jonesy is getting beaten to death and stops the assault with one single word: Geno. I searched the web for answers, and the best I could do was a Super Mario character set to restore peace. I know I'm not on the right lines there, but luckily there was a second part to this clue.
And the sisters.
The sisters. According to Greek mythology, fate is destined by the Morai, aka the Fates. They control everyone and the direction they take their life. basically telling us our life is not free, it's predetermined, predestined. If you've played a God of War game, you will know these as the Sisters of Fate. These beings weave a tapestry of destiny, mapping out everyone's path. That would mean Geno would be the person in charge of destiny, and the Sisters of Fate would be those weaving it into our timelines. This would also tie in perfectly with the threads of reality pulling the 0 point during the event. Strands of time pulling apart. I can't say any of this is true, but the train of thought this sent me on felt pretty reliable. Let's check back here in 3 chapters to see if I was onto something. So back to the gameplay. During the event, Jonesy became a butterfly. The butterfly is a theme running through the entire Fortnite saga since they watched that scene in the Doctor Strange movie in which the butterfly effect was explained. We came face to face with a butterfly during the Cube event in Chapter 1, good memories. And each time we see one of these, it indicates a ripple in time. Something we did in this reality is affecting others. For example, we saw a butterfly as we dispatched Galactus. This lets us know that that event is not contained to this reality. And during this event, Jones was extremely quick to say it wasn't his fault for Tony Stark's actions.
What did you do to the 0 point?
It wasn't me. There was an accident.
During the event, the 0 point blooms and lets out reality surges of power, causing leaks in time to occur. That's why only the autumn areas on the map are sent back to the Primal Age. I don't want to cover time blooms in this video if that's okay, because that subject can have its own video very soon. But what we do need to note right away is that we've seen this before. During Season 3, the Fade skin was available, and take a look at the back bling. Infinite Bloom. Right in front of our eyes all along. You also may know that I constantly go on about the convergence theory in Fortnite. Well, look at the name of Fade's glider, the Convergence. Follow the butterfly. The answers have been right in front of our eyes all along. We just didn't know the questions. My mind is blown. And one more to finish, let's jump to the end of the event and the creation of the spires. Have you noticed the rune on top of each of them? Remind you of anything? Well, take your mind back to last season and the Imagined Orders logo. Look, there it is. I cannot explain this in the slightest right now, so I turn this over to you. What did you spot in the event, and can you link them to story? Did you see any Easter eggs too? I'm Adam, I'm exhausted, thanks for watching. I'll be back in my Twitter DMs tomorrow to thank those guys who used code ADAMARU personally. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye!